Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is What of What, but you can call me Seven. And we're working on the phone wave. That's really all we're doing. We just found out that Makize is a 4chaner. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, we're just working on the phone wave. There's not much else to say. So let's just get started, see where we get from here, see if we can actually send our memories back to the past. Yeah, so he's buying dinner. Dado hasn't shown his face at all today. He must be busy with that part-time job. I still don't know what he's doing exactly. Probably something that utilizes his super hacker skills. I just hope he steers clear of the law. While walking, I skim at channel on my phone. Taito hasn't shown up lately. I think it's been a week since his last appearance. I've been reluctant to contact him ever since he called me the Messiah in his last email. Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that. That was about the same time he stopped posting. Now at Channel's denizens are busy slandering Taito. The majority opinion is that he ran away. I wonder where Taito went. I tried emailing him the other day, but he hasn't replied. Yeah, about Suzuha, right? His disappearance is especially worrying now that I think he might be Suzuha's dad. I need to contact him somehow. Just then, a mail arrives, no sender name. The address is one I've seen before once, though. I've got a bad feeling about this. I pause and take a look around, then I swallow my fear and open the mail. I don't like it. Oh my god, I had a feeling you would be this. You know too much. Dude, I would sprint home. Or maybe that's what they'd expect you to do. So, god, I don't know what I would do if I got a mail like this, an email. What? Oh. What? What the hell? I hug myself, shuddering at the sight. I delete the email immediately. It's happening again. This is different music. We've never heard this before. This is bad. Really bad. This is a threat. Was it sent by the organization? By CERN? Does CERN know what we've been doing? Should I report it to the police? Wait, I can't. I just deleted it. And in any case, a picture alone probably isn't enough to get the police involved. Still, maybe I should talk to someone, but who? Not the girls. I can't worry them with this. I'm the adult here after all. What about Moika? No, she may be a lab man, but she's been acting weird lately. Even if I tell her about this, she won't be of any use. Suzuha has her father to worry about. I guess that leaves Daru. I need to find out whether CERN has discovered our hacking. What would CERN do if they found out, I wonder? Or if they find out, I wonder. They wouldn't have us killed, would they? Despite my efforts to convince myself that this is just a prank, my feet hurry me back to the lab. I burst into the lab, gasping for air, and quickly lock the door behind me. Finally, I can catch my breath. But just then, I realize that— Oh, no! I realize that something's wrong. Mayuri and Kurisu aren't here. Did they go home? No. Their bags are still here. The lights are still on. The door. When I entered just now, it was— God. Would they be so careless? The memory of that threatening email fills me with fear. Don't tell me. Were they kidnapped? Who took them? The organization? CERN? Oh. Oh, are they showering? The lab has a shower inside the dressing room. There's no bath. We can't afford such luxuries, and it's too small to fit more than one person inside. Now I hear the sound of water running. Oh, I recall the famous scene from Hitchcock's Psycho. Wow, they just outright reference it. Fresh blood mixing into the water and flowing down the drain. The corpses of two girls sprawled out naked on the tile. The second those images flashed through my head, I slam open the door to the shower room. Is everyone okay? I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to show any of it. You know, well, I might have to skip that. All right, just back to normal. A different variation of the main menu theme. It's like that didn't just happen. Cool. 2 days have passed since Kurisu and Mayuri came to stay. During that time, Daru and I have done our best to support Kurisu's work on the phone wave. According to Daru, it should be easy to use the LHC to generate black holes for our use. The black holes form at the proton collision point where the lifter is installed and exist— it's a remix! It bops! And exists for only a few seconds before evaporating. During those few seconds, CERN throws a human into the singularity. We'll use those few seconds too. The gravity of the black hole compresses matter to infinite density. CERN uses the lifter to keep the compression under control, but we don't want that. We're going to dial CERN's lifter down. Not so much that it endangers the world, of course, but enough to compress our memory data to under 36 bytes. Dado has been coding the necessary program. As for me, I've been searching for our lifter, the unknown device that pumps electrons into the phone wave and keeps our black hole open. Kurisu couldn't find anything that could serve as a lifter inside the microwave, so it must be something on the outside. We're not sure what that could be, and so far we have no idea where to start looking. Yesterday, I consulted Dado about that threatening email, but Dado insisted that there's no way CERN could have discovered his hacking yet. Of course, I had to make doubly sure we hadn't been tracked. His test came back clean. I understand he's confident in his skills, and I trust him. If Dado says they haven't found out, then they haven't. But somehow, knowing that does not ease my anxiety. Over the next 2 days, it's been 2 days now? Yeah, it was the 11th. It's Friday, and although we still haven't solved the lifter problem, Kurisu is just about done with the time leap machine. Summer festival. Fireworks shows. Plans to go with Mayuri-chan later. I don't know Mayuri's plans, but I'm pretty sure she's busy preparing for a different sort of festival soon to take place in Ariake. No, too crowded. I'm being chased by the organization. The last thing I need is a knife in my back. Let's go with this, yeah. They need a fireworks festival. Of course they do. It's a visual novel. Why wouldn't they? Naturally, that means it's time for her to give me something else to worry about. For the final adjustments, we need to use the phone wave. I groan. In other words, we have to cause the electrical discharge phenomenon. There's a risk involved. Yeah, a risk called Mr. Braun. As we know, the discharge phenomenon causes the entire building to shake. Last time, Mr. Braun threatened to raise our rent if it happened again. Kurisu and Dado look at me. Yeah. Sorry, buddy, but you gotta go down there. Take care of it. In other words, you're sending me to die. Your sacrifice will allow us to complete the time leap machine. Besides, you're always the one who talks to the boss for us. Well, maybe it's time for you to put your lives on the line. I can't. That girl who works there hates me. That's true. Suzuha hates her. But hear this, I will not die. Like the immortal phoenix, I will return no matter how many times it takes. With that said, I head down to handle things with Mr. Braun. Yeah, he won't die. Don't worry about it. As I pass through the lounge, Mayuri looks up from her costume to see me off. Man, they really did just throw that scene in there. Just know that, Mayuri and Makize are good friends. That's all you need to know. They're getting along really well. When I step into the store, Mr. Braun, Suzuha, and the Chipmunk are watching some comedy show on the massive 42-inch CRT. Watching TV at noon without a customer in sight. Looks like business as usual at the Braun Tube Workshop. Hey! What's up, Suzuha? Glad you're not gone. I raise my hand in response to Suzuha's greeting. Nai quickly hides behind her father when she sees me. I see you're as busy as ever. Okabe, buy a CRT. No thanks, I'm not some kind of retro TV otaku. I'd rather buy an LCD. I look around the store as I answer. Huh, I just thought of something. Like CERN's Large Hadron Collider, the phone wave must have some kind of electron feed to keep the black hole open. CERN calls this feed the lifter. We still haven't figured out what that is, nor what could be acting as a substitute lifter in our time machine. What if our lifter is somewhere in this shop? It's a large collection of electronics. That's a very good guess. Whatever it is must be in close proximity to the phone wave. It couldn't work otherwise, and the Braun Tube Workshop is located directly below the lab. Could our lifter be a CRT? You've been having a lot of girls over lately, haven't you? Just the usual members. I was over the other day. Anyway, I came here to explain that the building's about to shake. How do I avoid having my head ripped off? How many more earthquakes do you think this building can handle? Nope, that's way too obvious. An earthquake is coming! My magic eye reading Steiner has seen it in the future. Escape while you still can. Yeah, that might work. Did Sheena Mayuri stay over yesterday? Yeah. So Makize Kurisu stayed too? Yeah, they're both upstairs. Oh. Suzuha's hostility towards Kurisu hasn't abated. And how are you doing? Huh? Are you feeling better? Oh yeah, I guess. The search continues. What's this about, part-timer? I'm searching for my dad. I told you before, remember? Go find our old man, Okabe. Why does he think he can boss me around? Naturally. Suzuha's a fellow lab member. Leave it to us. Suzuha looks at me with a smile that shines through the gloom filling the store. We're the same age, but sometimes you seem a lot older. You really know how to give people strength. That's the first time anyone said that to me. It makes me kind of happy. Oh! Of course, I am the great Hoinkyoma. The chipmunk cowers in terror as I unveil my madness. I can see tears pooling in her eyes. I guess my aura is just too powerful for a grade school girl to endure. What is it about him that scares her, really? Like, he's being weird, but he's not. Yeah, maybe she's just shy. Sorry. Come here a sec. Suzuha takes my arm and leads me away from the Tenojis, who have gone back to watching TV. I just want to say, be circumspect in your dealings with Makize Kurisu. What? Circumspect? Why can't she just say careful like a normal person? Not that I'm one to talk. True. So true. Such awareness. This again? Aren't you just being paranoid? Suzuha shakes her head firmly. No. Her perniciousness has been proven. Perniciousness? Is she saying Kurisu is dangerous? There's something strange about the way Suzuha is talking, and it's not just her fondness for uncommon words. There's something else. Something what? Her genius is a threat. At heart, she only cares about her experiments. Suzuha's eyes are hard, and her voice is as cold as ice. I can tell that she means every word she says. Listen to me. She's using you all. Makize Kurisu is connected to CERN. No, that's impossible. CERN is our enemy. If Daru's hacking is discovered, I have no doubt they will do everything in their power to destroy us. How can Kurisu be connected to CERN? You're saying she's a spy? Suzuha nods firmly. The credit for inventing the time machine was hers. Again, Suzuha's words sound strange to my ears, but I still can't place my finger on why, because she just used past tense. As in it already happened. He's a time traveler for sure. Don't let your guard down. I don't believe it. I saw Kurisu's anger when she learned what CERN had been doing. She called their actions a betrayal of scientists everywhere. How can someone with such a pure love of science be connected to CERN? But if what Suzuha says is true... Oh, man, I hated that. True, is that really like a depiction in this game of a decapitated head? Like, is that really what that is, or like what? Oh God, I suspected Moeka, but... Suddenly, the ground starts to shake. Kurisu started the experiment? But I haven't talked to Mr. Braun yet. Uh-oh. Sure enough, veins on Mr. Braun's forehead swell in response to the shaking. Not to shake the building. Cute girls or no, I ain't letting you off. Your rent's going up. This isn't our doing, it's an earthquake, something. You think I'll fall for that? The shaking gets more intense, knocking over a CRT. A Braun Tube-chan, no! Crap, I can't talk my way out of this one. Mr. Braun clearly wants to snap my neck like a twig, but he elects to protect his greatest treasure, the 42-inch CRT instead. He grabs the remote and switches it off, then grabs hold of the TV and hangs on for dear life. What about your daughter, man? Oh, Nai, are you okay? Is it over? Looks like it. Wait. It's over? I carefully step through the rubble and take the remote from the dazed Mr. Braun's hand. I press the red power button. The 42-inch CRT instantly comes to life. I stare at the image on the screen and smile. What's wrong? Nice. This is the lifter? Wait, why? How did you get that from that? I don't see the line of logic. This must be the work of Steins Gate. It chose this moment for a reason. You're scaring my daughter. I'm raising your rent, you hear, and you're paying for that CRT. This is a most glorious moment, for I've just been chosen as the ruler of all space and time. Okay. Oh, did he punch him? Stars explode behind my eyes as Mr. Braun drives his fist into the top of my head. Nice. The world spins. I struggle to get a hold of my shaken brain. Nice. He's gonna fall unconscious. You got something to say? Well then, Mr. Braun, put it on my tab. With that, I fly out of the workshop. Nice. How did he come to that conclusion? I can't tell why he says that that's the case. I can't figure it out. I rub my head. It hurts like hell. Damn that Mr. Braun. Did he really have to correct me so hard? Maybe I should report him for assault. Thanks to his brutality, I had to make a strategic retreat. Fortunately, I did not emerge empty-handed. The extra 10,000 yen a month will hurt, but in exchange, I have acquired information essential to the success of my plan. Oh, wait. Is it because it stopped? Is it because the discharge phenomenon stopped when the TV turned off? Possibly. The building just shook. Are you okay? Mighty and Kurisu appear in the second story window. Looks like you really are unkillable. I've seen the future, Christina. In 3 minutes, you will be on your knees praising my greatness. Hey, man. Think about what Suzuha said. If she's so serious, it bears thinking about, right? It's worth it. I run up the stairs. So what did you guys do? Did you guys start it? How could you miss something so obvious? When I tell Kurisu about the 42-inch CRT downstairs, that is her first reaction. Why are you blaming me? I'm not blaming you. I'm just disappointed that nobody, including myself, noticed. We missed the forest for the trees. To summarize, just now when the phone wave shook the building, the 42-inch CRT was on. But when Mr. Braun turned the TV off, the shaking stopped immediately. The discharge was interrupted. I put a banana in just to be sure nothing happened. I'm glad. We shouldn't waste food. Nobody replies to Maidi's off-point statement. We're busy reading about cathode ray tubes on the internet. It doesn't take long before we find something interesting. A cathode ray tube has a component called an electron gun, which uses extreme heat and a strong electric field to accelerate electrons and turn them into a beam. The electron beam striking the TV screen phosphor layer is what generates the picture. An electron gun could certainly work as a lifter. Oh, is that why when you turned off older TVs, you could still see like a bit of color on them and they would like have to fade? Is that why? Because it's like directly hitting the screen with a beam? Probably. We found the answer. The electrons emitted by the 42-inch CRT are holding the phone wave's black hole open, and the discharge phenomenon is a result. So the reason we can't use the phone wave at night is because the Braun Tube Workshop is closed? The Braun Tube Workshop doesn't have especially strict business hours, but it's usually open from around 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Oh, maybe I could have put that together because they said what the business hours were around that time. That matches up perfectly with my observation that the phone wave only works between noon and 6 p.m. The few instances it hasn't worked during that time frame can be explained by the TV being off. But how can a cathode ray tube emit such a strong electron stream? It's not about having a strong electron stream. If stronger were better, CERN would have solved the lifter problem long ago. So it can't be too strong or too weak. By freak coincidence, the 42-inch CRT's electron gun appears to have exactly the right level of electron discharge. That's... If you're gonna call anything serendipity, it is that, Ritaro. That's the only explanation. Somehow, the conditions here were perfect to create a time machine. Frankly, it's a miracle. Not a miracle, it's a choice of Steins Gate. Yep. Rather than glare at me as she has so many times in the past, Kurisu shoots me an exasperated smile. Whatever it is, it worked. She's into it. Huh, Suzuha might have been spitting facts. I wonder, what's up, Mighty? Looks up from her costume with a question in her eyes. So, what do we have to do to complete Super Phone Wave-chan? Now that we found the cause, there's nothing left to hold us back. We can safely conclude that time leaping is possible when, and only when, that television is on. We should probably test it, right? And there's still the final check of the phone wave to do. You're right, Okabe. What? Or what? Go downstairs and turn that TV back on. That's hilarious, Christina. Allow me to dub that. Yeah. Yeah, Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. Can I hear that again? I'd like to hear him say it. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm not going back down there. My head still hurts from last time. Hold on.
Mission Impossible da.
Impossible da. Nice job, Rintaro. Nice job. Next time I doubt I'll make it out alive. Whatever, just go already. Kurisu orders me with a sour look. It's like I'm the assistant here. Well, you kinda are, buddy. If anyone can do it, it's you. You made an amazing discovery just now, didn't you? Assistant mine. Have you finally recognized my greatness as a mad scientist? No. Damn, that was harsh. Oh, whoops, I was supposed to flatter him so he'd feel like going, right? Yes, you're an amazing mad scientist. It's too late. Anyway, now that we found the lifter, the time leap machine is 99% complete. So, I'm thinking, what happens if they're using the time leap machine and Mr. Braun turns off the TV? That would certainly be bad, wouldn't it? That would certainly be very bad. Kurisu's expression suddenly turns serious, but I can see the hunger in her eyes and the flush of excitement on her cheeks. I don't know, Suzuha was saying some stuff. She knows that we stand on the threshold of a new age in science and she cannot resist the lure of the unknown. She's a true scientist. No doubt about it. It's your dream, isn't it? To invent a time machine. Our dream. I have never really thought about it that way, but she's right. My hands are shaking. Not from fear of Mr. Braun, but from excitement. I will become the undisputed Lord of Time.
Okabe.
Okabe? Kurisu interrupts my speech. I wasn't asking Hoi Kyoma.
岡部の意見が聞きたい。
I was asking Okabe. She spears me with her gaze. I meet it head on. After a few moments, I feel my mouth curve into a smile. I'll do it. Leave it to me. With that, I head downstairs. A cracked skull and an empty wallet are a small price to pay for science. Kurisu and Daru send me off with applause. For some reason, Mayuri's the only one who looks worried, but I pat her head in reassurance. Huh. Okay. When I get downstairs, Suzuha and the chipmunk are sitting side by side on the bench outside. Uisu! Nae, why are you so scared? Gives me a quick bow, then hides behind Suzuha. That checking upstairs put the boss in a bad mood. Now, Nae and I are waiting it out. Damn. Now I really don't want to go in there. Are you okay? Dad hit you pretty hard. I'll have you know that my brain is more valuable than the Mona Lisa. Your father may have set humanity back 100 years by wiping out my brain cells. Such a regrettable loss. Suzuha clasps her hands in solemn prayer. I'm not dead. Just my brain cells. I'm sorry. Daddy did something bad. Oh, what a gentle heart you have. I can't believe she's Mr. Braun's daughter. I suppose I share some of the blame. Your father and I are even. Nae smiles slightly at my words of comfort. Now then, part-time warrior, I have a request of you. I need you to distract Mr. Braun for about 5 seconds. Suzuha's eyes start to shine. In a bad way or in a good way? She doesn't look like she's smiling. You and Mayuri-chan don't go places together? You're both lab members, and I heard you were childhood friends, so I thought, I'm sorry if I misunderstood. Interesting. An interesting dynamic, but not what we're worried about right now. You mean whoa! Suzuha, that's not... Definitely not what we said. She flexes her bicep for some reason. Go on, touch it. She insists so I poke it. It's just as hard as her confidence suggests. Oh my god. What? Alright. Sure, she's probably stronger than me, but I don't understand what flexing has to do with seduction. Nobody said anything about seduction. It doesn't matter how you do it. I'm not much of a warrior if I can't handle that. Besides, you said you'd help me search for my father, right? I'm only returning the favor. I see. And I leave it in your capable hands. Oh, okie dokie. Yeah, nice. Don't be mean to daddy, okay? Don't worry, I won't be mean. Indeed. I want to complain that he's the one being mean, but I just said we were even. So I refrain. Wait here, Nae. The chipmunk nods. When we enter the store, we find Mr. Braun cleaning up the pieces of the broken CRT. When our eyes meet, another vein pops on his forehead. If you came to apologize, I'll listen, but your rent's going up, understand? I'm sorry about what happened. I overreacted. As a token of apology, my lab's representative, Amane Suzuha, would like to present you with a gift, or Amane Suzuha. Tinsho, boss, get ready. With a vigorous shout, which in no way seems appropriate for seduction, Suzuha whips off her jacket and throws it into Mr. Braun's face. Wait. Oh. What I'm seeing? What I am seeing is not, in fact, a classic visual novel, just like, oh, young girl and just being weird and like taking off her clothes. No, it's not that. It is in fact her taking off her jacket and choking him out. Suzuha, it seems, has him in a jacket-induced chokehold because you can see in the back right corner there that she is holding it back like... Oh my god! That's not what I expected at all, but you know what? Kind of goes hard, so she slips behind him, grabs her coat, and pulls it tight against his face. Now's your chance. Now wait just a second. Is this your idea of seduction? It looks like you're trying to suffocate him. Hey. Hey. To some people, now I'm not saying anything, okay? There are no judgment calls here. Some people, they might view it that way. Mr. Braun flails his arms trying to escape Suzuha's restraint. There's a huge difference in strength between the two. It's only a matter of time before he shakes Suzuha off. Or is there? Your heroism will be remembered. Realizing that the only choice is to go for it, I dash to the counter, grab the remote, and switch on the 42-inch CRT. After about 2 seconds, an image appears on the giant screen. At the same time, the ceiling starts shaking. Kurisu activated the phone wave with perfect timing.
また揺れてる
It's shaking again. Okabe, Rintaro, what's going on? Did she really take off her clothes without knowing why?
助かったぞバイト先生
You're a lifesaver, part-time warrior. If you can, keep him restrained for 10 more seconds.
そのまま
During that
拘束して
time,
くれ
I escaped from the store. Nai. Outside, Nai's following earthquake drill procedure, crouching while protecting her head. I ignore that and look up to the second floor. At exactly the same time, Kurisu appears in the window and gives me a happy thumbs up, but a second later she blushes, shoots me a glare, and disappears inside as if nothing happened. What's with her attitude? I'm risking my life here. In any case, the experiment was a success. The 42-inch CRT was the key, as I suspected. Now, how do I explain this to Mr. Braun? I don't want him to kick us out of the building. Perhaps I shouldn't have left it to Suzuha. I timidly peek into the store to gauge the situation.
ちょっと店長
Okay, give me back my jacket.
してよ
Suzuha is there, fidgeting in her tank top as Mr. Braun glares down at her. Shut up, I'm confiscating this! A little while later, I'm lying on the sofa watching high school baseball. Kumamoto and Aichi are locked in a fear. I have no idea what schools. Yep, just then the clack-clack of the sewing machine in the lounge suddenly stops.
おかり
Can you come here? She motions to me while holding the costume. What does she want? I walk over to her. Can you hold this for me? Spread it out like... Whap. It's hard to believe given her usual ditziness, but Mairi is very serious about her art. That's why cosplayers value her costume so highly. The costume I'm holding now is custom-made for Lukako. I thought Lukako was against it, but I guess Mairi managed to persuade her. Okay, thanks. Mairi looks tired. She's been working all night, but that doesn't dim the brightness of her satisfied smile. All done, I guess. We're really not gonna just talk about what happened and then the phone wave and what we're doing with the... Alright, sure. I finished before Chris-chan. We were racing.
負けたわ
You win, Mairi. Congratulations. Damn you, assistant. She treats me and Daru like garbage, but Mairi gets the sisterly touch.
でも
Actually, I'm just about finished too. Kurisu connects the 2 cords she's holding.
完成
Done. Celebration is in order. But nobody cheers.
引き分けだ
It's a tie. Man, I'm tired. Honestly, I don't feel like cheering either, and it's not because I'm tired. We worked around the clock for 3 straight days to finish the time leap machine, and now that it is complete, I realize that part of me never truly believed it would happen. I feel my enthusiasm cooling rapidly, the fire quenched by one stark question. What do we do with it? I look at Kurisu. She too seems less than enthused.
私たち
We may have created a
ひょっ
monster
とすると
here. I look at the
と
improved
んで
phone
も
wave
ないもの
again.
を作っちゃったかもしれない
The biggest change is the headgear attached to the X68000. Whoa, it is quite different now. It looks like something out of a low-budget cyberpunk movie. Fortunately, we don't need nerve jacks or brain chips for it to work. You just put it on and let the sensors do the rest.
とりあえず
Why don't we decide what to call it first? Heavenly Express. Phone Wave 3rd Edition version 1.00.
帽子付き
Silly Hat Phone Wave-chan. No
あんたた
consensus.
ちって
You
本
guys
当
have
に
too
能
much
天気
free
ね
time.
クリスティーナ
Does that mean you're abstaining from the vote?
タイムリープマシン
There we go. Time leap machine. Simple, effective, communicates what it does. There you go.
これはひどい
That's terrible. Oh, come on. Simple is best, right? I mean, that's what Okabe's been calling it for the past 2 days.
助手はネーミング
Looks like my
センス
assistant
ゼロ
has
だ
zero naming sense. Kurisu meets my grin with an icy
マイ
glare.
リ
It's up to you,
最
Mairi.
終決定権
Choose one.
として
Whenever the lab is
どれか
divided on a name, the right to decide belongs to Mairi. What have you got, dude?
タイムリープマシン
I think Time Leap Machine is fine.
帽子付き
Silly Hat Phone Wave-chan is super close, though. Somehow I knew she'd say that.
だから言ったでしょ
Like I said, simple is
シン
best.
プルイズベ
Mairi
ストだっ
gets
て
it. Did she just English that? I think she did. I want to object, but it's an unwritten rule not to complain once Mairi's made a decision. Aw. Very well. Time Leap Machine it is.
助手
Assistant, explain for us all how the Time Leap Machine works. I know the basics, but I want to hear details. Kurisu nods and stands in front of the whiteboard.
一言で言うと
Okay, okay.
これ
We
は
need
記
to
憶を
we
デ
need
ー
to
タ
pay
化して
attention for
リ
this.
ング得意点を通過させ過去に
short,
飛ばす装置
This device converts memories to data and sends them to the past.
電話レンジには
Let's begin with
偶
what we
然
all
にも
know. By free coincidence, the phone wave is able to produce ring singularities, much like John Titor's time machine.
リング得意点を
Through the ring singularity, we are able to send up to 36 bytes of data to the past. The signal can only be received by phones. While that does limit the range of effect, it also removes an element of uncertainty from the equation. Unlike D-mails, memory data is sent in the form of a phone call, so we will be using a phone number, not an email address, to set the destination. The ring singularity is made naked and stable by a device known as a lifter. In our case, that's the 42-inch CRT downstairs. She's explained the basics. Next, she'll explain the modifications she made to turn the phone wave into a time leap machine. The phone wave, oopsies. My bad. The phone wave now has headgear attached. This headgear records the nerve impulses in the temporal lobe of the brain, specifically the CA3 region of the hippocampus, where memories are stored. If we go to tips and look okay, I didn't remember this. The hippocampus is divided into 3 histological sections: CA1, CO2, CAT. Oh my God, CA1, CA2, and CA3. CA refers to the name given to the hippocampus by anatomist Garangeau. I don't know how to pronounce that. In 1742. Okay, sure. So yeah, where memories are stored. Got it. August 13th, 2010. Okay. Then, using VR technology, we encode the nerve impulses into electrical signal data. Why does that say 3.24 terabytes? Okay. Okay. Approximately 3.24 terabytes. It's less than I expected. We're talking about the entirety of a person's memories. By the way, we'll set it up so that the data decodes automatically after a certain amount of time. Okay. Anybody well-versed in programming can do this. I had Hashida make the code. Anyway, next we send the memory data through the net to the LHC in France. 40 to 50 seconds because of the low latency. The direct line to CERN. This building has a direct line to CERN for some reason, so we can transfer data at insanely high speeds. It is terabytes, so makes sense. How long does it take to send 3.24 terabytes of data? We have 64 direct lines in parallel, so if you send it in 64 parts, 45 seconds. That's pretty fast. Next, we hijack the LHC, create a mini black hole, and use that black hole's supergravity to compress the data into 36 bytes. 3.24 terabytes to 36 bytes. That's some crazy compression. How does it not damage the file beyond repair? The data, I should say. 3 terabytes is about 3 trillion bytes. Compressing that into just 36 bytes, that's one hell of a squeeze. Will the compression take long? It's practically instantaneous, 23 milliseconds or thereabouts. We're using a black hole, after all. By the way, the compression only holds in the immediate vicinity of the black hole. Once the data leaves that area, it will begin to decompress on its own. Okay. This too takes 23 milliseconds. It has to make it back to the X6 8000 and into the phone wave within that window. It's only 36 bytes. Shouldn't be a problem. Continue, Christina. While the data is being compressed, we use the phone wave to generate a Kerr ring singularity. Yep. When the electron discharge phenomenon occurs, we take the 36-byte data, patch it in, and send it to the past, basically like D-mail. This part, yep, got it. The data travels to the specified time where it arrives at the recipient's phone. By now, 23 milliseconds should have passed, so the data will be fully decompressed. Next, the decoding program runs, converting the data back into nerve impulse signals. These signals are discharged from the phone's earpiece at approximately 0.02 amps, a pretty weak charge. If the recipient has the phone to his ear, they should go straight into his brain, assuming he answers his phone. If he doesn't, the transfer fails. Fortunately, we lose nothing but that copy of the memory data. Why a phone call instead of an email? Because we need the recipient to put the phone to his ear, otherwise the signals won't reach his temporal lobe. She indicates the side of her head. In this area, you have the frontal lobe and temporal lobe of the brain. As I explained before, the hippocampus, where memories are stored, is inside the temporal lobe. The phone sends out electrical impulses that pass through the temporal lobe and into the hippocampus, overwriting the recipient's memories. At the same time, the phone sends impulses that stimulate the frontal lobe as well. This is important. Remember that the frontal lobe is responsible for sending retrieval signals to the temporal lobe. This is how you remember things. Got it, okay? By stimulating the frontal lobe, we force it to send retrieval signals keyed to the new memory data. Thus, the recipient recalls all of those memories as if they were his own, which of course they are or will be in the future. This happens in less than a second. Now the recipient has the same memories as the sender, the time leap is complete. If the data came from 1 week in the future, the recipient will remember that week as if he experienced it firsthand. We need to be aware that consciousness and personality aren't transferred. Both of those depend on the recipient. Let's say we send your memories to you in grade school. Right now, you're some kind of omnisexual pervert who thinks inanimate objects are hot. But in elementary school, you were still an innocent child. Dang. He really just summed him up in one sentence, huh? I was a boring little bastard who did nothing but study. What of it?
つまり
Basically, that little bastard would suddenly have all your perverted memories, but his personality wouldn't
見
change.
た目は子供頭脳は大人
It's not like you'll become that famous anime detective with the looks of a child and the brains of an adult. This isn't like the time leaping you see in sci-fi novels. We aren't yet capable of transferring personality and consciousness. Yeah, go on then. Since you need a phone to retrieve the signal, you can only send memories to the times you had one. We also need to make sure that the sender and recipient are the same person. If someone besides your past self, your parents or a friend for instance, answers the phone, then the nerve impulse signals will be projected into their brain instead. If that happens, your memories could overwrite theirs, which could obviously cause serious damage to their psyche. Kurisu ends her explanation and takes a short breath. The lab falls into silence. I exchange glances with Kurisu and Daru. I look at Mayuri, but her expression is blank. I guess it was too complicated for her.
それで
So, I clear my throat. It's time for the million-dollar question. What do we do with it? Do with what? The time leap machine, of course. What do we do with it? For once, my assistant has nothing to say. I already know that she fears we've created a monster, and honestly, I feel the same way. After a few moments, Kurisu finally speaks. It's too much for us to handle, that's for sure. The safest thing would be to hand it over to the government for professional research. I can tell that she's not pleased to have reached this conclusion. She obviously would prefer to experiment with this technology. After all, it's humanity's first time machine. We've finally taken our first steps towards godhood. I'm sure that the nations of the world would pay billions for just one look at our machine. The possibilities that it represents are limitless. It just doesn't feel real. Mayushi doesn't get it. That's because you didn't work on it, Mayushi. What about you, Okabe? And I mean you, not Hoin Kyoma. I agree with Kurisu that the time leap machine is dangerous. On the other hand,
実験してみたい気持ち
I want to experiment. I state my honest feelings. Kurisu gasps.
だが
But there are still questions we need to answer. This is unknown territory, not just for us, but for all of humanity.
誰が
Who will time leap?
タイムリープ
I
す
look
る
to each of the lab mems in turn. Daru quickly looks away. Mayuri's expression is blank. Kurisu stares right back at me. It's hard to choose. I'll pass. Mayuri isn't sure what's going on. Not a single person here wants the honor of being history's first time traveler. Everyone except for Mayuri is probably thinking about what could go wrong. What if the time leap were to fail? It's not like CERN's time machine. The possibility of becoming a jelly man is zero. This machine sends data, not humans. Don't let your preconceptions influence your decision. You might say it's like a cut and paste of your brain. Okay. Actually, it's more like a copy paste, and it's just your memory. Yeah, you're not cutting it. Actually, yeah. If you're cutting it out, that would be really bad because it would take away what's already there. The original doesn't get erased. That's a very easy to understand example, but that's not the problem. Time flows in a straight line from past to present to future. At least that's how most humans see it. This raises several questions. Several questions that Ferris brought up when they were at
過去に
May
転
Queen.
送したデータが
What if there's an error somewhere and the data itself gets fractalized? Let's say I send my memories an hour into the past. My memories would be replaced by fractalized data. In other words, data full of tiny holes.
それは
Couldn't that cause memory loss? I suppose.
もしそうなった場合
1 hour later, we arrive once again at the present. At that time, the me who lost his memories an hour ago and the current me conflict in my brain. Which data set survives? Logically, the present should change as soon as you send your memories to the past. The conflicting current me disappears then.
それはつまり
So then it's not a copy-paste at all, is it? I don't know. No one's ever experienced time travel before.
D メールでは
When we send a D-mail, the world is reconstructed based on the change we made to the past. I'm the only one who's aware of this, however. We don't know what happens when you time leap. If it's the many worlds interpretation like Tater said, then the instant you time leap, it creates two possibilities. One where you shift to another world line, and one where you travel back in time on the same world line. Got it. Got it, I understand. Of course, there must also be a world line where the current you doesn't disappear. That would likely correspond to the present that we are experiencing right now. Mayuri is so confused. And to be honest, it is a little confusing, but that's only if the many worlds interpretation holds in the first
お
place.
前は
I thought you didn't believe what Tater had to say. I'm talking hypothetically. Tater doesn't matter right now. If it's the Copenhagen interpretation, then every possible state propagates through space as a wave function. When a particular state is observed, the remaining states collapse and that state is fixed. So when you see it, it happens. When you see it, you observe it, it happens, and all of the other possibilities fade away. Okay, sure. But precise observation is impossible. The problem is who the observer is in this case. Wouldn't it be a third party, like me or Mayushi?
そうとは考え
Not necessarily. It might be me. It might be someone else. It could even be God. To begin with, the Copenhagen interpretation and the many worlds interpretation are both microscale theories used to explain quantum interactions. No one knows whether they can be applied to humans or to the world at large. What about my personal experiences with reading Steiner? If reading Steiner is the sort of power I think it is, then the world line model is correct.
結局は
In the end, we arrive at the question of where is the self?
このタイムリープ
This time loop machine only sends memories. That I guarantee.
転送された時点
Won't the present be reconstructed at the moment of transfer? That's what happens with Okarin's reading Steiner, right?
D メールの場合は
That makes sense where D-mails are concerned. When we send a D-mail, we're obviously interfering in past events. But time leaping is different. All you do is send your memories to the past, which isn't the same thing as sending a targeted D-mail.
未来の記憶を思い
Whether
出
the
した
me who
り
suddenly
した
remembers 1 hour into the future will in fact change the past is something we can't know until it happens.
頭が
I'm getting confused, and to be honest, I kind of am too, but I also kind of get it. I see where the problem is. I see where a lot of the consideration is and like what we're trying to figure out, but I don't know how they're going to come to an answer. I don't know what conclusion they're going to get to. So for now, I think that's all the time that we have for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I definitely did. This one was a little goofy, a little wacky, but they're finally getting somewhere. They're at a place where things could get really wild and we're really going to need to stay on our toes and pay attention. So I will see you guys in the next video. So for now, have a good rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye!